I am 80 years old, and I live by myself in a small yellow house on Chestnut Street. Everybody who comes through my door asks me the same gentle question within 10 minutes. Are you lonely out here all by yourself? They ask it kindly. They ask it while looking around. And I always give them the same answer, and the answer always makes the room go quiet. Being alone was never the thing that scared me. Not one night of it. Not one winter. I raised 2 children in this house, and I buried the man I slept beside for 50 years. Quiet does not frighten a woman who has heard everything a house can say at 3 in the morning. But there are things that do frighten me, 4 of them, and nobody ever asks about those. Tonight I am going to name all 4 out loud, the way we say them to each other, not the way we say them to our children. We do not say them to our children at all. Let me tell you who is talking to you, so you know where these words come from. I am not a doctor. I never worked in a hospital, and I never studied one thing about growing old. I kept the books for a lumber yard out on the county road for 29 years. Payroll, invoices, and a coffee pot that nobody but me ever washed. My husband was Ray. He has been gone 6 years this October, and I still set out his mug. Not on purpose. My hands do it while I am thinking about something else entirely. My daughter Diane lives in Ohio. My son Michael is 2 hours north of here with his wife. They call. They are good to me. I want you to hear that before I say the rest of this, because what I am about to describe is not a story about bad children. Almost none of it is. For the last 4 years, I have gone to the senior center on Tuesday mornings to play cards. 9 of us at 2 long tables, and we do not talk about our health, which surprises people. We talk about our houses, our mail, who is still driving, and who has quietly stopped. And one morning in February, a woman named Loretta said a thing that stopped the whole table. She said, "I do not care if I die alone in this house. I care if I do not get to stay in it." Nobody argued with her. 8 heads went down, and 8 pairs of hands kept sorting cards. That is the whole thing right there in one sentence from a woman with a bad hip. The world has decided our great fear is the empty chair on the other side of the table. It is not. I promise you, it is not. We made our peace with that chair a long time ago. What we are afraid of is the day somebody else starts making the decisions for us. Being alone means you are still the one deciding. That is the part nobody understands. Alone is quiet. Alone is a long afternoon. Alone is a thing we have gotten good at. The other fear has no name that anyone says out loud, so we say it sideways instead. We say, "I hope I go quick." We say, "I do not want to be a bother." That is the sound of it. So here are the 4, sweetheart. Pour yourself something warm and sit with me a while. The first fear is the smallest one to look at and the largest one to live with. It is the front door key, not losing it, handing it over. That is the whole difference. My key hangs on a brass ring with a bottle opener Ray got free at the hardware store. It is worn smooth on one side, from 40 years of the same thumb, and the thumb is mine. That key means I come home when I want, and I lock the world out when I have had enough. It means the day belongs to me. The door is a decision, and I am the one who makes it. There was a woman at the center named Ruth, 84, sharp as a tack about most things. Her son changed the locks after she left a burner on one afternoon. One single afternoon. He did it out of love. I want to say that plainly. He was frightened, and he moved fast. He handed her a new key. He gave one to the neighbor, too, and he kept 2 of them himself. Ruth told me, "The door still opens, but it is not my door now. It is a door I am let through." She said it without one drop of anger. That is what I want you to notice. She was not angry. She was just standing on the outside of her own front step, in her own life, waiting. A key is not about metal. A key is the last proof that the house still belongs to you. The second fear is the one that keeps women my age awake, and it is being decided for. Not decided against, decided for. The conversation happens and you are not in the room. It happens in a hallway. It happens in a car on the way home. It happens on a phone call. 3 grown children, all of them tired, all of them worried, all of them meaning well. They arrive at something reasonable, and then one of them is chosen to come and tell you. You can always tell which one was chosen. They show up with a folder and a soft voice. Loretta got hers in a restaurant because her daughter thought a public place would help. She told me the worst part was not the words. It was that everyone already knew but her. She had become the last person to find out about her own life at 79 years old. I have watched it happen to 3 of the women I play cards with, 3 out of 9. And every single time the family was doing what it believed was the kind thing to do. They think the cruelty is in the saying. The cruelty is in the meeting you were not at. Ask me my opinion, and then tell me no, and I can live with that all day long. Do not hand me a finished decision with my name already on it and call that a conversation. The third fear is the one you guessed before I said it, and I have to be careful here. It is the home, the place, the facility. We have 6 words for it, and we use all of them. Some of those places are good. There are people working in them with real tenderness. My own sister spent her last 2 years in one, and the woman on nights held her hand. So I will not sit here and tell you that a building is the enemy, because it is not true. The fear is not the bed or the hallway or the smell of the dining room at noon. The fear is arriving somewhere you did not choose, on a day that somebody else picked. It is the difference between moving and being moved. Only one of those is something you do. Ray's brother Walter went into a place at 86, and he had chosen it himself. He toured 3 of them with a notepad and complained about the parking at all 3. He was not happy about going. But he was the one holding the pen, and you could see it. He walked in the front door like a man checking into a hotel he had opinions about. Another woman I knew went in on a Thursday after a hospital stay and never saw her house again. Her coat was still hanging on the hook at home. Somebody else packed her things into bags. Same building, same hallway, same supper at 5. Two completely different endings. The fourth fear is the quietest one, and it is the one I feel most often in my own kitchen. It is becoming a topic instead of a person. You will know the first time it happens to you. You are sitting right there in the room. Two people are discussing you in the third person. She has been forgetting things. She should not be on those stairs. She gets tired now. And you are 8 feet away holding your tea, listening to a report about yourself. Nobody is being cruel. That is exactly what makes it so hard to bring up afterward. It happened to me at Michael's house last Thanksgiving, in the doorway of his kitchen. My son and my daughter-in-law were deciding whether I should still be driving after dark. I had a dish towel in my hands the whole time, and not one of them looked over at me. I did not say a word. I dried a bowl that was already dry and put it in the wrong cabinet. In the car going home, I understood what had changed, and it was not my driving. I had stopped being someone they talk to and started being something they talk about. A topic does not get asked. A topic gets managed. A topic gets updates and phone trees. And once you have become a topic, every other fear on this list comes walking in behind it. Now let me tell you what actually prevents all 4 of those, because something does. It is not money, and it is not good health, and it is not having especially sweet children. I have watched women with all 3 of those lose the key anyway in about 11 days. What prevents it is being early. That is the whole secret, and it is not much of a secret. Every one of those hallway conversations happens because nobody knew what you wanted. Your children are not deciding against you. They are deciding in an empty room. They are frightened, they have no instructions, and so they choose the safest thing there is. And the safest thing is almost never the thing you would have picked for your own life. So you fill that room up before they ever walk into it, while it is still boring to talk about, while nothing is wrong, while you are standing at your own stove cooking your own supper. Here is what that looked like at my kitchen table. And it was not a dramatic evening. Last spring, I asked Diane to sit down after supper, and I watched her brace herself. She thought I was sick. Her whole face got ready for it. I had to say, nothing is wrong. I told her, if a day ever comes when I cannot decide, I want you to be the one who does. Not because you are the oldest, because you will argue with me, and your brother never has. She cried a little, and then she got out a notebook, which is very much her father's daughter. We wrote it down at the table. The whole thing took less than an hour, and we had pie after. We wrote, "Who decides?" One name at the top of the page, not a committee of 3. We wrote, "What I want tried first, before anybody starts collecting brochures about me." We wrote, "What I will not have," in my own plain words, so that nobody has to guess at me. And then she wrote the line that mattered most. "Tell me first, before you tell each other." That last one is not on any form anywhere. I asked for it, and she put it down in ink. There is a second thing that helps, and it costs you nothing except a little pride. Ask for the small help early, while the help is still small. That sounds backward. It is not. The women who lost the most control were the ones who fought over every little thing. They would not let anybody carry the laundry basket up, so the family stood there and worried. And worry saves itself up. It collects until one bad afternoon spends every bit of it at once. Let them shovel your walk. Let them come and look at the furnace in October. Every small yes you hand them buys you a large no later, and they will honor that number. I let Michael put a rail on the porch steps a good 2 years before I needed it. He felt useful for an entire weekend, and I have not heard one word about my stairs since. And the third thing, stay a person in the room, out loud, the very first time it happens. When they begin talking about you in the third person, you do not have to get angry. I have found one sentence that works, and I have used it 3 times now in this kitchen. I say, "I am right here. Ask me." Then I wait, and I do not rush in to fill up the quiet. It is a strange sentence to have to say to people you love. It works every single time. Let me tell you why this works, because it is not a trick, and I want you to trust it. People do not take your life away from you. They pick it up, the way you pick up a falling bag. It is a reflex. They see something at risk, and their hands move before their mouth does. You cannot talk your family out of that reflex. It comes from the same place love comes from. What you can do is put your wishes in their hands before the day their hands go looking. Because a family with instructions stays a family. A family without them becomes a committee. And once your people are a committee, honey, you are on the agenda instead of at the table. I saw Ruth 2 weeks ago at the grocery store, the one whose son changed all the locks. She carries a key that works now, on a ring with a plastic tag her grandson made at school. Nothing about her situation changed, except that she finally said the sentence out loud. She told her son, "I would rather be a little unsafe in my house than perfectly safe out of it." He did not like hearing it, but he heard it. Those are 2 different jobs, and he did the one. That is all any of us are asking for, not to be right, to be asked before it is settled. So here is your one small thing for tonight, and it will take you 11 minutes. Write down one name, the person who decides for you if you cannot decide for yourself. One name on a piece of paper in the drawer where you keep the important things. Then tell that person the name is theirs, so they are not finding out on the worst day. That is the whole assignment. It is the cheapest peace of mind you will ever buy. And if you are the daughter watching this instead, ask her tonight, while nothing is wrong. I am 80, and my key still hangs by the door where I can see it from the kitchen sink. Not because I got lucky, because one ordinary evening after supper, I said the hard thing early. You have time. That is the part I need you to believe. Tonight, you still have time. If any of this sounded like your own kitchen, subscribe and stay with me a while. Next time, I want to tell you about the words we stop saying to our children after 70. There are 5 of them, and every one costs us more silence than we can afford to pay. Come back for that one. Bring your tea. I will leave the